low-income Canadians, do you know that since we took office, nearly 1 million low-income Canadians have been removed from the tax rolls altogether? Through the working income tax benefit, we've torn down the welfare wall that used to discourage people from joining the workforce. We've given everybody an employment tax credit of $1,000. We've broadened capital gains exemptions. In fact, we've introduced a tax-free savings account which for the first time in history lets Canadians keep every single dollar they earn from investments free from the tax man forever. We've ended the anti-family aspects of the tax system. We scrapped the marriage penalty. We brought in a $2,000 tax credit for dependent children, on top of the $1,200 allowance for every preschooler. For our senior citizens, we raised the age limit for converting RSPs to RIFs from 69 to 71. We doubled the age credit by $2,000. We increased the age credit by $2,000. We doubled the pension deduction. And for the first time in history, we brought income splitting into our tax system for the pensioners of this country. And I could go on and on. There are many other tax measures I haven't even mentioned. Friends, the last time the federal tax take was this low, it was before Pierre Trudeau was Prime Minister, was when the Prime Minister was that great conservative, John George Diefenbaker. And here's another stat for you from the Fraser Institute. Tax Freedom Day arrived on June 6th this year, 3 days earlier than last year, and 19 days earlier than when we took office in 2006. And friends, these tax measures, combined with our relatively strong economy, are beginning to attract attention. In fact, just last month, you probably heard that great Canadian coffee and donut success story announced that it was moving its headquarters out of the United States to take advantage of our falling tax rates. Tim Hortons is coming back to this country. Mes chers amis, n'oublions jamais, en réduisant les taxes et les impôts, nous affrontons l'opposition constante des trois partis de la gauche, les libéraux, le NPD, et le Bloc. Now friends, never think for a moment that accomplishing these things has been easy in this minority parliament. In fact, we face not just the crisis of the global economy, but every day we face the instability of a minority parliament. And the three parties of the left, the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois, see this global recession as an opportunity to push their agenda, an agenda of tax and spend. No matter how much stimulus spending we do, we're doing a lot, they demand more. Tens of billions of dollars more. And they demand that we not just do it temporarily for this recession, but they demand that it be made permanent and that taxes be raised to pay for it. Not a week goes by, my colleagues can tell you, not a week goes by when one of them is not attacking us in Parliament for either not raising the GST, or not raising business taxes, or not imposing a carbon tax, or not raising premiums to pay for their scheme of 45-day work year underemployment insurance. There isn't a single one, there is not a single one of our tax reductions that they have willingly and enthusiastically supported. Mr. Ignatieff even calls himself a tax and spend liberal. Now, he told his party unequivocally, to pay for their plans, and I quote, "we will have to raise taxes." Now, some of you friends may know that when the inevitable backlash to this statement struck, Mr. Ignatieff furiously backpedaled, saying he would, and I love this quote, he said he would raise taxes only as a last resort. Somebody else used that, and as someone once said in response, that's a resort we can be sure he'll be checking into. But friends, mark my words on this. We will not be pressured by the Liberals or their NDP or Bloc Québécois allies into doing things like raising taxes or creating a 45-day work year under employment insurance. We will not do things that are not good for this country. And if we stick with Canada's Economic Action Plan, we will lead this country out of recession with some of the lowest tax rates in the developed world. Canada will be one of the best places in the world to invest and do business. Canada will be the platform from which to do business in North America. And that, friends, is why we need a Conservative government to get us through the rest of this recession and on to recovery.
Mes amis, il ne faut jamais oublier que la différence notre gouvernement conservateur en fait depuis 3 ans et demi.
Friends, never forget what a big difference our Conservative government has made during the past 3.5 years. And lowering taxes is just the beginning. Friends, instead of servicing Liberal insiders and elite as the previous governments did, our Conservative government has been putting the needs of hardworking Canadian families first. When times were good, instead of using federal surpluses to dole out money to Liberal client groups, we paid $40 billion off the national debt for this country. Instead of a big bureaucratic national daycare plan, we are delivering direct support to families so they can make their own child care choices.
Au lieu de faire une micro-gestion des affaires relevant des provinces, nous respectons plutôt le partage des compétences prévues dans la Constitution.
Instead of polling the General Assembly of the United Nations to determine our foreign policy, instead of sitting on our hands when our allies are in peril, we are taking principled, unequivocal positions and standing for freedom, democracy, and human rights on the world stage. Instead of leaving our Arctic, the true north, unattended and unprotected as it was for 13 years, we are taking real action to assert Canada's sovereignty over our Arctic. Instead of plundering the defense budget and always asking the Canadian forces to do more with less, we're giving our brave men and women in uniform the resources they need and the respect they deserve. Instead of harassing farmers and duck hunters, we're cracking down on those who use guns to commit crimes in this country. Instead of fast-tracking visa applications for Romanian strippers, that was a low point even for the previous government, we are supporting legislation to clamp down on human trafficking. Instead of funding court challenges by left-wing fringe groups, we're supporting victims of crime. Instead of building a justice system that exalts as its only priority the rights of the criminal, we are putting the safety of Canadian families and communities first. And friends, instead of imposing Mr. Ignatieff's carbon tax in the middle of a global recession, we are reducing taxes so we will have the best economic position in the developed world. Now, friends, as you know, the Liberal leader once again took the country right to the brink of an election this spring. He briefly backed down, agreed to work with us on EI, But then, less than 72 hours later, he told the press that if he didn't get what he wanted, he said, quote, he would reconsider his options. So there he goes again. Chers amis, il faut toujours se souvenir que les libéraux, le NPD et le Bloc vont s'unir dès qu'ils penseront qu'ils peuvent arriver à leur fin. Mais les Canadiens et les Canadiennes ne veulent pas d'élection et nous devons continuer à travailler pour l'économie pendant la récession mondiale. Friends, do not doubt for a minute. Do not doubt for a minute. We saw the real face of the opposition last Christmas. Do not doubt for a minute that the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois will get together anytime they think they can get away with it. But always remember, the last thing Canadians want is a Liberal government propped up by the NDP and the Bloc Québécois. More than that, Canadians have been clear that they do not want an election, and neither do we. So we must stay focused on guiding Canada through the global recession. We must keep infrastructure money flowing, keep taxes trending downward, keep Canadians working, keep our stimulus spending short-term, and keep our focus on Canada's long-term economic success. But as a minority government, we must be prepared for an election that could be forced on us at any time by the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc Québécois. And when that time comes, Canadians will face a stark choice. A choice between us or them. A choice between lower taxes and controlled temporary spending, or higher taxes and runaway permanent spending. A choice between a government that serves and supports hardworking, law-abiding Canadians, or one that caters to interests, special interests, and insiders. A choice between realizing Canada's full potential or squandering our opportunities. Friends, we will have one big advantage whenever the Liberals, NDP, and Bloc Québécois force the next election. That advantage will be our conservative values. A deep commitment to freedom, democracy, and justice, devotion to family, dedication to community, love of country. Our values, our Canadian values. They are the values on which this country was built. They are the values from which this country is drawing strength during the global recession. And they are the values that will, as always, with your efforts and your support, carry us forward. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. God bless Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Wallace, and I am proud to be the Member of Parliament for Burlington and the chair of the GTA caucus. My fans over there. The church organization that we're here today has been well thanked, but I want to also thank Paul Calandra and his team for what they've done to put on this fabulous event for us today. A big hand for all the volunteers who helped with this tonight. Many of us have, a definition of what leadership is for us. And leadership for this party has integrity. The Prime Minister has integrity. Leadership for us is wisdom. The Prime Minister has wisdom for this country. Leadership is about vision. And the Prime Minister has vision of where we are today and where this country needs to be in the future. Leadership is about honesty. And the Prime Minister tells Canadians every single day the honest truth about what is happening in this economy and in the future. And finally, leadership is about a commitment in this country to Canada. And Prime Minister Harper has a commitment to Canada like no other. We were very happy to have him as our leader of our party, extremely excited to have him as our Prime Minister, and extremely excited that he represents us in the global environment. We want to thank the Prime Minister for his words today, and thank you for coming to the speech.
Folks, our Prime Minister is going to be staying for some pictures, but if you'd like to get a picture with him, you need to listen really carefully. I need you to line up on the left of the stage. That's my right. Okay, no pushing. The more organized we are, there is a row going down there, the more pictures that will be taken. The line starts at the back, okay, folks? So we're going to try to accommodate as many people as we can, but please be patient. And also, I think the food is about to open again, so if you haven't had a chance to eat, please go get some of the delicious food. Thank you.